Are you a man over 40 and worried about getting in shape? If that's the case, I'm gonna talk to you about exactly how you can stay in amazing shape in your 40s and your 50s. And trust me, it's not as hard as you think. Make sure you watch all the way to the end because I've got something I'm going to give away to make sure that you actually stay in shape. Oh, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe. It all helps. So let's get into it. To be honest, I'm not really going to talk to you about any science. I'm going to talk to you about my client right here, Joseph. Joseph came to me at 202 pounds and around 5'9", so he was a little bit overweight. He was quite muscular, but to be fair, he had too much body fat, so you couldn't really see the muscles on him. Joseph is in his 40s, he's an older guy, he works, he's got a family, he's got kids, so on and so forth, just like a lot of guys that I talk to. So the first thing I said to him was, look, we need to look at how we can get you from where you are right now to get in an amazing shape, leaner, and fixing your overall health. This is especially important for black men because black men are more likely to suffer with diabetes, prostate cancer, so on and so forth, if we are overweight. So we really need to get ourselves in check. So what do? The reality is, it doesn't matter if you're 40, 50 or 60 years old, you can still build muscle. There is research that shows you can keep building muscle all the way into your 50s and 60s, and I'll link those in the description just to make sure that you guys can go read them. Building muscle doesn't end. You can always do it. Losing fat doesn't end. You can always do it. We have this myth in our mind with metabolism and fat. That stuff is all a myth. So the first thing I said with Joseph is, look, you're already strong, so let's just optimize your weight training program. Make sure we're tracking everything, make sure we're sticking to it, make sure we're consistent, adding in a little bit of cardio. So we covered his basis: pull-ups, push-ups, bench press, deadlift, squatting. We made sure he was lifting heavy weights consistently every single week. So that was a starting point. The second point was the food, and that's usually the hardest part. Joseph, he likes sweet stuff. Me, I like sweet stuff. On the weekends, it seems that he was overeating on carbs and sugary biscuits and sugary snacks. I've been there, I'm sure you've been there. We all love some sweet stuff every now and then. So how do we combat this? The first thing is obviously tracking our calories, but I didn't even tell him to track calories Monday to Friday. I told him to track calories on Saturday and Sunday because those are the days where he was falling off track. Monday to Friday, he was absolutely fine. So I didn't want him to track calories on those days. You know why? Because sometimes when you're tracking calories every day, unless you're a bodybuilder or you're competing in a competition, it can be very monotonous, it can be tiring, it can just be a bit of a mental drain. So Saturday and Sunday, we had to start tracking calories. Those were the only 2 days. So that meant calorie intake had to be restricted and also his sugar had to be restricted. Well, that was the second step, aside from the training. And quite simply, with all those things in place, he started to see the weight coming down. But guess what? It didn't end there, because if you think just doing those two things are going to keep you on this constant track of weight loss, you'll be sadly mistaken. And I'm going to put in a screenshot of his weight loss graph as we go. And one thing you'll see is that he wasn't losing weight every single week without fail. There were times where he was failing and the weight wasn't coming down. And this is simply due to sometimes water weight, sometimes he wasn't sleeping well, sometimes life just got on top. It happens. But the accountability piece kept his head in the game. Every week he was doing the check-in, and on the check-in, I'll be going through his data. Hey, you need to do this, you need to change this, you want to put this here, we need to be sleeping a bit better here, we need to add more weight on this lift and that lift. And the accountability piece meant that he was more likely to hit his goal. And just so you're aware, there's research that shows that if you have an accountability appointment every single week, you are 95% more likely to hit your fitness goal. So that's pretty much it. When times got tough, I kicked him in the arse and he kept going. And that helped. And I wanted to give you a bit of a case study of why even in your 40s, you can still build muscle, get an amazing shape. Because look at him. He went from fat to abs just like that, and anyone can do it. Okay, he wasn't fat, but he was carrying a bit of excess body weight, and anyone can do it. And I think that when you realize how possible it is for you, you become more ambitious with your fitness goals. So like I said, I've got something for you and I want you to take advantage of it. I have a free 2-week fat loss program. It will show you how you can get abs in the next 90 days. And I promise you, if you just take advantage of it, you can repeat it for 90 days and you will get abs. It's got a calorie calculator in there. It's got everything in there. Just steal it, go take it, make it yours. Put in some other exercises in there, but it's a 2-week program, simple. But if you are thinking about getting in amazing shape and going on holiday, I want you to watch this video right here. Peace.